How's everybody doing today? How many of you read the book? Sure is. How many of you love the book? How many have a lot of questions about the book? Wow, that's awesome. Okay, my name is Crookshank, and what I'm going to do is, it's going to be awesome. When I speak to kids, I used to be a child myself. Now I'm 18, I'm a little older. I used to listen to people talk about, oh, can he hurry up already? I want to go text my friend, I want to go Facebook, I was just like you guys, but my speeches be fun because my speeches, you can actually relate to them. Like it's going to be awesome. I'm going to have questions throughout. You guys like questions throughout or at the end? What's better? Throughout? Yeah, because you probably forget towards the end, right? You ask me questions anytime you want. Just raise your hand, I'll stop. This book is something I wanted to do a long time ago, and I used to always tell my friends, like, oh, we should write a book, and I finally did it. Now what's coming next is, in 3 weeks, I'm filming my documentary on it, and so you'll be able to go and see it. It's going to be on demand in Eastlink. I'm going to have a viewing at one of the movie theaters. I don't know which one we're going to pick yet. I think it's on Park Lane, yeah. I'm not familiar with these streets yet, though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about birth to today. Birth until today. A lot of stuff that's not in the book I'm going to talk to you about. A lot of stuff that I couldn't fit into the book because I was given so much space I want to talk about. But if you have any questions, let me know once again. My name is Crookshank. You guys should all know that before I came here today. You should all know that. I'm on billboards, I'm on commercials, everything. You should know that. If you don't know it, you live under a rock. But I'm from California. Who know what California is? Who ever heard of California? California is, we call it, where I live at, we call it the murder zone. Oakland, California, we average 265 homicides per year. In Halifax, I'm not sure, but I think it's around 19, 20 a year, and they said, oh, Halifax is getting pretty carried away. Well, we probably get 20 in a weekend. Oakland, California is a very, very tough neighborhood to grow up in. I was born in Berkeley. Berkeley, California is 15, 20 minutes out of Oakland. Soon as I was born, I went to Galveston, Texas. Galveston, Texas is a small island right by Houston that my father was raised. My mother was raised. So, I mean, in North Preston, you hear a lot of people say, oh, they're Downey, they are this. It's a couple of same last names in North Preston. So in Galveston, Texas is all my family. You have the Lees, you have the Crookshanks, you have the Taylors, there's 3 of them. And kids are coming from everywhere. Like every time I go back, it's more Crookshanks. Like, who is this? John Crookshank. Like, really? Like, it's like we have like 60 of us as of right now that's under 40 years of age. When I was in Galveston, Texas, and as in the book, my father was a kingpin. He played basketball over in France for a minute. For like 3 weeks, he didn't like it because it was slow money, and he was like, I got to get faster money. I have a child in me. I have to get faster money. I got to get money. I got to get money. He couldn't stay patient, so he put together this empire with drugs. My father started with him and my uncle, and they started to get a lot of money. Back in 1986, sorry, my father was making probably $5,000 a week with just him and my uncle. So he said, wow, this is unbelievable. I gotta get more money. So what he did was he hired more people. When you go through life as yourself, as myself, you go through life and your self-esteem is gone, and you feel like, oh, this job ain't gonna hire me. You would do anything for money. Those are the type of people he was employing. He was going to get kids that 20 years old and they didn't know how to get a job because they had prior records, and they couldn't get a job because the job look on there, I've been in jail before, they don't hire them. Those are the type of kids he was getting. So through years and years, my dad went from 2 people to 300 employees in this empire that he built. Now, if he was making $5,000 a week with 2 people. Can you imagine 300 people? It got to a point where he never touched none of his product. He never was around it. We just go drive places, and I was 10 years of age, and I was driving. I was driving my father's car. He taught me how to drive. I was 8 or 9, and I was actually driving. Cops would see me and didn't do anything to me because my father had police officers on payroll. It was insane. I was like, to this now that I'm a man, I look and say, how do you have police on payroll? Like, that's crazy to me. And I was driving, and my father would just drive, and he'd say, he'd whistle, pull over, I'll pull over. Guys bring bags of money to the car. This is every day for like 3 years of my life. So it started to get a little, you know, everybody's like, oh, that's James. They call him Tree Lee. His last name Lee, James Lee. They call him Tree because he's tall. And he's just tall, and he stands out. Like myself, if I walk through Halifax Shopping Center, everybody goes, wow, he's tall. Like, he stands out. They call him Tree, so they say, oh, that's Tree's son. And a lot of guys, like anything I did in the city, but the doors were open wide up because everybody was afraid of my father because he was so powerful. I know a lot of times he got people badly beat up. Like, he never told me about if anybody was murdered or anything like that, but I know a lot of guys were beat up if they crossed him wrong. If he's $1 short, 16 cents short, my dad was all about money. That's why I'm great in math right now. I'm a math genius. I go to stores, and I physically tell them how much the stuff is going to be with the tax before they finish ringing. They're like, wow, that's probably be a couple of cents off, but my dad embedded in my mind that if you mess up with math, it's over for you. So at the age of 11, 10, 11, this is when I pulled out of that. My mother was a bagger for my father. How many know what a bagger is? Okay, what a bagger is that my father had this empire, but he needed somebody to package all these drugs. My mother was that, and this is at her younger age. She was that, and then she started to say, I'm going to try this. It went from trying it to, okay, I'm going to try it one more time, but I'm going to stop after this, to, oh, I'm going to try it this weekend, just on the weekends now, to, I'm going to try it all week, just once a week, and that type of thing. And so she got strung out on it. And I started to see that was an issue. My mother went from, she was weighing 143 pounds, 143 pounds, and she went from 143 pounds in a matter of like 5-6 months to 99 pounds. And I'm like, wow, Mom, you working out. Like, but it was the drug. And my grandmother, I didn't know selling drugs and doing all that was an issue due to the fact that I was young. If you're young and you don't know, like your mother and father are supposed to teach you the rights and wrongs. So if my father's teaching me this, I'm thinking it's right. So I'm thinking this is right and think it's wrong.
Did you ever try them because you were around them so much?
No. See, with me is I've never to this day tried a drug due to the fact that I see, and I've been around it so long, and I see what it does in people's lives. We had people coming to my father, oh, this is all I have, crying. Like, this is all I have. I'll give you the rest. And like come with $20 and the product's probably 40. They got 20, and then they'd go and they'd come back and say, look, I have this television for you. And I'm like to do anything for this product. So I said, why would I put myself in that situation? My mother lost everything. My father is basically hurting and killing a lot of people. Like, it's probably people that my father empire sold to that's still on this product, this drug, like today. It's probably somebody out of those thousands and thousands of people that probably overdosed from these drugs, right? So I don't know if he killed people or not, but I'm saying it's a possibility. It's a high percentage that people to this day, his life is affected by this drug. So no, I didn't never touch anything. Like, I'll probably drink a couple of beers, wine, something like that. I'm a liquor kind of type of guy, but I'm not promoting liquor, but drugs is not for me because I see what it does to people. So my mother found herself like looking bad. So my grandmother found out about it. And this was the final draw when my father was in a book. He came, he called me B.I.G., Big E. That's my nickname.